lot of us, mediocrity is everywhere right now. And we're all trying to find an easy way out. And we're judging ourselves. Let's say there's 10 people in this room and we're all mediocre. But I'm the best of the mediocre people. I now think I'm great. I'm great. We surround ourselves around people that make us feel great. They tell us what we want to hear. The second we put ourselves amongst the uncommon people, we don't like that feeling. That challenging feeling of that person who's waking up at 3:30 in the morning and say, hey, put your shit on, we're going for a run. We don't like that challenge. We like that person who says, hey, you know, man, I don't feel good today, man. And they say, oh, it's okay, brother. We'll take a day off, man, we'll get a pizza and shit, watch the game. We like that. We love that feeling. Why? Because you understand, man, we're good, bro. We don't want that motherfuckers like this. Hey, man, no, bro. Get your fucking shit on, man. Stop being a punk. We don't want them a lot. We don't want that person who's constantly challenging our weaknesses. We want that person who's constantly, you know, making us feel nice and good and secure in ours. That's the mediocrity of life. We want to be the best amongst the average.
Marcus Aurelius once said,
people wonder how
you
do you
have power over
stay
your mind,
hungry on
not
the
outside events. Realize
After I
this, you will
accomplish
find
something,
strength.
I don't sit back like
In a
a
world
lot
where
of guys
emotions can
graduate
feel like
buzz,
turbulent
graduate this,
waves,
graduate that.
how do we find our anchor?
They
Join
wonder
us
why
as
I'm
we
getting
explore
weak,
7
man.
stoic
I don't
lessons
know, I
that hold
lost
the
my
key to
edge.
mastering your
What's going on? Because
emotions
once you hit the top of
and
the fucking
navigating
mountain,
life's
guess what happens?
storms with unwavering resolve.
I'm good.
Before we begin,
good, so
I
you
would
wonder why
appreciate
you're
if you
falling
like the
down
video
now.
so that you
Because
can help
once
me
you
to
top the
continue
mountain,
spreading the
guess
stoic
what?
philosophy.
Another one. That's
If you're not
mediocrity.
subscribed,
There's a lot
I
of people in
recommend you to
mediocrity
subscribe and
who have a
activate
nice
the bell
resume.
so you don't miss any
But they're
video.
one-timers, man. They hit a one-time deal.
Lesson number 1.
They busted it open, got a lot of
Understand
money.
what's in your control.
Good.
Have you ever
You're
found yourself
mediocre
caught in a
now,
storm?
man.
Not the kind with rain and thunder, but the storms of life.
Tomorrow, the next
Unexpected
fucking day.
events,
That's why I'm
disappointments,
listening
or
to
sudden
fear.
changes.
I don't
The
listen to all that
Stoics,
bullshit.
philosophers
I
from
listen to
ancient Greece
motherfuckers
and
like
Rome,
this, man.
have a lesson that feels like an anchor in these storms. The dichotomy of control.
Because tomorrow,
Picture this.
I get a
You're planning an outdoor event, and despite all your preparations, it rains. Now you can't control the weather, no matter how much you'd like to. But your reaction to the rain, that's entirely up to you. You could lament, get frustrated, or you could adapt. Maybe move the event indoors or see the rain as a refreshing change.
Is a world
Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born a slave and rose to become one of the most influential thinkers of his time, put it succinctly. Some things are in our control and others not.
You find yourself
It sounds simple, right?
Like
But in this
100-mile race
simplicity
I was
lies
on,
a
I ran
profound
24
wisdom that
hours.
has the power to
I
transform
found
our
myself.
lives. Every day we're faced with a myriad of situations. Some we can influence, like our daily routines, the books we read, or the company we keep. But many are beyond our grasp. Global events, the actions of others, the passage of time, and yes, the weather.
That's what all that mediocrity is.
Now here's where it gets interesting. The Stoics believe that our well-being doesn't depend on external events, but on how we interpret and respond to them. It's not the event itself, but our judgment about the event that causes our emotions. Think back to a time you faced a setback.
A lot of us say,
Maybe
you know,
you didn't
like
get that job you wanted.
right now who
At the moment it felt like a disaster, but with time, perhaps you realized it was a blessing in disguise, leading you to a better opportunity or personal growth.
You see him a year later.
But how do we put this into practice?
What the hell?
Start by asking yourself, is this something I have control over?
You're one of the greatest
If the
athletes
answer is
of all
yes, take
time.
action. If the answer is no, then it's an opportunity to practice acceptance and adaptability. By truly understanding and internalizing this principle, we can free ourselves from unnecessary anguish. We can navigate life with a sense of calm, knowing that while we can't control the winds, we can adjust our sails. In a world that often feels chaotic, the dichotomy of control is a beacon of clarity. It reminds us to focus our energy where it matters most and to embrace the serenity in knowing that some things are simply beyond our grasp.
You gotta wake up even though you're
Lesson number 2, reflect before reacting.
You're setting the
In today's digital age, where immediacy is often celebrated, the art of reflection can seem like a relic of the past. Yet it's this very act of pausing and pondering that can be our saving grace in a world that demands rapid responses. Consider the countless times we're faced with decisions both big and small. From choosing a meal at a restaurant to deciding on a career path, the spectrum of choices is vast. But it's not just the magnitude of these decisions that matters, it's the manner in which we approach them. Let's delve into a common scenario, reading a message that strikes a nerve. Maybe it's a colleague questioning your work or a friend making an offhand comment. The gut reaction might be defensiveness or anger. But what if, instead of diving headfirst into that emotional whirlpool, you took a step back? By allowing yourself that momentary detachment, you're not suppressing your emotions. You're giving them a space to breathe, to be understood. This practice of reflection is not about passive acceptance or avoidance. It's about active engagement with our thoughts and feelings. It's about asking probing questions. Why did this comment affect me so deeply? What underlying beliefs or past experiences are influencing my current emotions? Is my immediate reaction based on the present situation or past baggage? Moreover, reflection before reaction is a tool that fosters empathy. By giving ourselves time, we also allow ourselves to consider the perspectives of others. Maybe that colleague had a stressful day, or that friend didn't realize the weight of their words. By reflecting, we open the door to understanding, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. In relationships, this practice can be a cornerstone. How many misunderstandings could be avoided if we took the time to reflect before reacting? How many bridges could be built instead of burned? It's in these reflective moments that we find clarity, compassion, and connection. Furthermore, in professional settings, the ability to pause and ponder is invaluable. Leaders who reflect before making decisions are often more respected and effective. They're seen as thoughtful, measured, and wise. Their decisions, born from reflection, often stand the test of time. In a world that often feels like it's moving at breakneck speed, the act of reflection becomes a form of rebellion, a quiet yet powerful statement that we won't be swept away by the currents of immediacy. It's a commitment to ourselves, to our well-being, and to the quality of our interactions with the world. In essence, to reflect before reacting is more than just a practice. It's a philosophy, a way of life that champions depth over breadth, understanding over impulsivity, and meaningful connections over fleeting interactions. It's a journey inward that has profound outward implications, shaping not just our responses, but the very fabric of our lives. Lesson number 3. Practice dispassion. In a world that often feels like an emotional roller coaster, the idea of practicing dispassion might seem out of place. But let's delve deeper into what it truly means and the transformative power it holds. Dispassion isn't about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent to the world around us. It's about cultivating a balanced perspective, a calm amidst the storm. Imagine being able to observe events, situations, and even your own emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Think about the last time you watched a gripping movie. There were moments of tension, excitement, maybe even sadness. While you were engaged in the story, a part of you always knew it was just a movie. You didn't rush to help the hero or console the crying character. You observed, you felt, but you remained in your seat. This is the essence of practicing dispassion. Being deeply engaged with life, feeling its many emotions, but also knowing when to remain seated in the theater of your mind, observing without getting lost in the drama. This approach becomes a lifeline in our modern age of information overload. Every day we're bombarded with news, updates, and notifications. Reacting passionately to every piece of information would leave us perpetually exhausted. Dispassion offers a buffer, a way to engage with the world in a more sustainable, balanced manner. Dispassion also plays a pivotal role in interpersonal relationships. We've all been in situations where conversations get heated, where disagreements arise. In such moments, practicing dispassion can be the difference between a productive discussion and a damaging argument. It allows us to listen more effectively, to respond rather than react, and to navigate conflicts with understanding and grace. Cultivating dispassion starts with self-awareness, regularly checking in with ourselves, recognizing our emotional triggers, and understanding our patterns creates a space between stimulus and response. In that space lies the freedom to choose our reactions, to act with intention rather than impulse. And while dispassion might sound like detachment from life's joys and pleasures, it actually enhances them. By not being overly attached to outcomes, we can fully immerse ourselves in the journey, savoring each moment without the constant fear of loss or change. Practicing dispassion is about finding equilibrium in an ever-changing world. It's a compass that points to inner peace, guiding us through life's varied terrains with grace. By embracing this practice, we not only enrich our own lives, but also bring a sense of calm and clarity to those around us. Lesson number 4. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Life is filled with moments that test our patience, resilience, and perspective. From minor inconveniences like a spilled coffee to more significant challenges like disagreements with loved ones, Our days are punctuated with situations that evoke a range of emotions. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to get swept up in the immediacy of our feelings. A missed deadline, a critical comment, or a forgotten anniversary can feel like the end of the world. But one powerful question can shift our perspective and bring clarity. Will this matter in 5 years? This simple yet profound question serves as a mental time machine, transporting us to the future and allowing us to look back at the present moment. Suddenly, that heated argument or that missed opportunity is seen in a different light. Most of the things we fret about today will be forgotten footnotes in the grand narrative of our lives. Consider the challenges and worries you had 5 years ago. How many of them still hold weight today? How many have been overshadowed by new experiences, learnings, and memories? This realization can be both humbling and liberating. Using this question as a regular touchstone helps in prioritizing our concerns. It assists us in distinguishing between short-term setbacks and long-term implications. For instance, while a bad day at work might feel overwhelming now, in the grand scheme of things, it's just one day in a career spanning decades. This perspective also fosters resilience. When faced with adversity, reminding ourselves of the bigger picture can reduce anxiety and promote problem solving. Instead of getting bogged down by the problem at hand, we can strategize, adapt, and move forward, knowing that time often brings clarity and solutions. But it's not just about minimizing our concerns. This question also encourages us to focus on what truly matters. If we want our actions and decisions to have lasting significance, we need to invest in relationships, personal growth, and experiences that stand the test of time. In a world that often emphasizes the now, will this matter in 5 years, is a beacon guiding us towards a life of purpose, perspective, and peace. By regularly revisiting this question, we can navigate life's ups and downs with grace, ensuring that our energy and attention are directed towards what truly counts.
Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/YouTube audio.
Lesson number 5. Keep a stoic journal. The act of journaling has been celebrated across cultures and epochs, not just as a record of events, but as a tool for introspection, growth, and clarity. The Stoics, with their emphasis on self-awareness and personal betterment, were no strangers to this practice. A Stoic journal isn't merely a diary of daily happenings. It's a space for reflection, for dialogue with oneself, for dissecting emotions, decisions, and reactions. It's where the external world meets the internal, where events are weighed against personal values and beliefs. Imagine ending your day by recounting not just what happened, but how you responded. Why did a particular comment upset you? What triggered that burst of joy or enjoying daily tasks? By dissecting our day, we begin to understand the patterns of our psyche. We start to see the triggers that sway our mood, the values that guide our decisions, and the habits that shape our days. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, kept a journal which is now known as meditations. It wasn't meant for publication. It was a personal dialogue, a space for him to guide himself, to remind himself of Stoic principles, and to navigate the challenges of his life with wisdom. Through his writings, we see a man grappling with his responsibilities, his emotions, and his place in the cosmos. But you don't have to be an emperor to benefit from a Stoic journal. In our modern lives, filled with distractions and a constant barrage of information, setting aside time for introspection becomes even more crucial. It's a daily check-in, a grounding ritual that brings clarity in its chaos. Over time, this practice can lead to profound insights. You might notice situations repeatedly cause stress, prompting you to either address them or change your perspective. You might find that specific practices, like gratitude or mindfulness, elevate your mood and outlook.
And my mom was going through a lot of shit too, and she didn't have time to sit back and baby me. And it was me against me. My pants were down to my knees. I was not, whatever was going on, I was in bad shape. So I went to the bathroom and I had this weird haircut because I wanted attention. I was an attention getter. I went to an all-white school pretty much. Some of the kids liked me, a lot of them didn't like me, whatever. Didn't fucking matter. I was looking for something, so I would dress differently, crazy haircuts, and I went to the mirror, and the reflection in it revealed a lot of bad things. A lot of things that I was hiding behind the saggy pants. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror going like, God, dog, dude, you are something else, man. Like, you have created a character. I want to be at the cool guy table. And whatever I could do to get attention, I did. And it wasn't me. It wasn't who I was inside. But I was scared for anybody to know who I was inside. So in that accountability mirror, I call it, I got real with myself. I said, you have a third grade reading level, which is hard to admit when you're a junior in high school that you copied on every single thing you did because of fear they're gonna put me in a special school. We all know what special means. I don't have a title on myself for the rest of my life. And being cool, you don't have a title on yourself. So I started cheating. I was dumb. And people say, oh, you know, you have a learning disability. I had a learning disability, but I realized I was lazy. So I called myself out there. I called myself out every which way possible. I didn't call myself out, I was just honest. I was honest. Look at yourself, man. Look at yourself. And it was that day, and a couple of days after that, I just got real with myself. And every day I came home, I called the accountability mirror. What am I gonna do today to change what I see in this mirror? What am I gonna do today? And a lot of it was, I stopped sitting with the cool guys. I actually tucked my shirt in and went to school looking like, hey man, this is how I'm gonna look. If you don't like it, so be it. I had to really wear this layer of skin. I had to develop a really callous skin on me to take whatever you're gonna call me, you're gonna call me. Whatever I'm gonna be, you know, I want a geek, but whoever I am, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me for who I am, because I need to change who I'm not. And that accountability just became raw. And when I became fat over the years, because I fell back in the hole, I called myself fat. Because I was fat. And people don't want to do that. They want to say, oh, don't call yourself fat. Don't call yourself dumb. If you're not real and raw with who the fuck you are, nothing's gonna change. And in this nice new world that we live in, we want to hear, you're just a little big. No, man, you might be fat. And it's okay to hear that from yourself and from everybody else. So that's where it started at. And it's raw. It gets ugly sometimes with me in that mirror, but I'm also proud of myself to be able to tell myself that and then fix what's in that mirror. You know what? Because first of all, it does set you free mentally, and it gives you a starting point. You have to have the truth to have a starting point. So when you, like, if I'm lying to you about who I am, or I'm lying to you about whatever, there's no starting point. There's a false reality. You have to create the real reality. So that's what I call my accountability mirror in my book. That's the real reality. Where the fuck am I gonna start from? So for me, I was lying to this, lying about that. So I had no starting point. Once you come face to face with who you are, you have a starting point. All right, I'm not real smart. I have no courage. I have no self-esteem. I have no nothing. Nothing. That's my starting point. Now we can move from there. But if I tell myself I'm strong, I have courage, I'm smart, and all these are lies, you continuously push that starting point backwards. So that starting point is the truth. The no fucking bullshit truth that only you can tell yourself. So it's the starting point. The truth's the starting point. Especially nowadays in this society, we like to surround ourselves